Hello, Instructor Reina. I hope you're doing well. I'm Christian, and I gotta present you this video presentation of Anecdote from 2020. And let's start. The first question is, what were you doing before March 2020? I was in my last year of elementary school in fifth grade. So, yeah. And also, I was training fencing. I just tried to improve my fence and skills and it for better. Cause I don't have more to uh tell you. Cause it's just it was just the start of the year. As I said before, I was preparing me for an international South American competition in Cochabamba, Bolivia. That finally didn't occur, but it just it was just frustrated. But then I have more opportunities, as in the my timeline you can you saw I went to Paraguay, Argentina, Peru, Puerto Rico, Salvador, and other international competitions. So it was as maybe the prepare. It was literally preparing me for better. So I'm glad with it. Thank you. What activities are you doing? What are you doing? Sorry. In that time, I usually started reading Anna's friend Darius. It's one of my favorite. That was my motive to start to learn Germany. Um, yeah, it is one of my favorites, and also I was training fencing if it counts as a hobby. Sorry, that was all the activities that I was doing in that year. I was studying in my elementary um, school last year in fifth grade, and I wasn't getting into the English world, so it is really confused. And for um, a note, I was one of the boring students in class in that year. More specifically, in the social sciences area, it was really difficult for me. And the next year, I too, that area is maybe one of the difficult, and I don't understand at all. Has a history in Colombia. I didn't know the whole history, but I know some things. So yeah, that was what were I studying. That was I studying in pandemic. What were you working? I didn't work. I just studied. As I said before, I was bad student, so now I can change that and say that I'm a really good student, one of the best, and just my purpose I remember in that year was uh, get my degree, get my degree of fifth grade, not more. Just one was it, and the international competition just was it, and it was difficult, but I I got. Since I have memory, my dad and my nana, and teach me fencing as a little child. So I really fell in love in fencing too much, and I just train hard for the international competition to Bolivia, and finally don't work. But yeah. Oh, another thing is that that picture was my last competition in Colombia, in Cali, before pandemic, and then I just the next year in pandemic in 2021, I get out of virtual fencing lessons because it makes me feel um, too sad. But I knew that the school is first than sports. So I get out that year, and when we back at the reality, at the physical, and I turn uh, back to fencing, and I changed my um, weapon in fencing. I did foil before pandemic, and then I'm doing EP, and that are two different weapons. How can I say swords in fencing? And yeah, I'm doing well this year's. In my free time, I spend time with my sister, Sophia. Um, she was Elsa, and I was Olaf, and we dancing. Also, I remember that I was uh, doing a show to my parents with her, and it is so funny. Also in virtual class, I just started playing because it was that classes was boring, and I was boring too, so I started playing in class. That makes me fun. And yeah, that's all that I spend in my free time. Also watching movies. I was also that's in that year I also start to listen English songs. And I remember that one day my father said, "You know what say that song? Because you're like la 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 la, but you don't know the real meaning of the song." So that's when he um, put me into a English course. Yeah, I don't remember the name, but I did an English course, and it was great. I learned a lot, not too much, but I learned something more than now. And yeah, that was like my uh, anecdotes of before pandemic, in pandemic, and after pandemic, and how I can get in the how I got into the English word. So thank you. I hope you really like this video presentation. Um, maybe is not one of my best, but I'll just try to do my best too. And yeah, see you later, Instructor Rina. I hope see you later. Bye.